Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video, just going to jump into Rift Odyssey. So we have unlocked Nightmare and Hell difficulty as well. So we're going to try and get through these relatively quickly. I will take my time and just go through the different teams and advise which are the best teams to run for these particular type of challenges. So in this team, for this team, we need Mystifiers. Now, I've been very impressed with Gaia. I've been really impressed with Gaia. She adds so much to the Mist Monarch team. It's really powerful stuff. But that's not the team we're going to use, would you believe? I am going to run this team right here. Now, this team right here is technically the most optimal team for quick deploy. Yep, absolutely fine. What you do, that's fine. What do you do? Yeah, I don't need taunt. I can unequip you, and let's go ahead and add in healing spear as well. So yeah, this team is the most efficient team, not most efficient, but most synergistic with Gaia, with the new unit. And let me just show you why in a second. So we will pop in our Mystifier's relics. Here we go. Again, any type of Mystifier's relics, you know, the cursed or the cursed cauldron, whatever it is, and the book would do absolutely fine in those two positions. Just this last position, you do need Knight's Edge as well. But the reason for me running this team in particular is because of the 1, 2, 3 protectors on the team, which link up with Gaia's synergy. The only other 2 protectors on the synergy with Lancelot and Bastet, unless you count Cleo. But I won't run Cleo in these nightmare scenarios or this nightmare difficulty, just because a lot of people won't have access to a 3-star Cleo or even, you know, sort of a 7-star or 6-star Cleo. So best not to run her and do viable teams instead. Now, the reason that I'm running Emily and Dullahan is because they both increase the corrode stack limit up to, what is it? So Dullahan increases by 5 and Emily increases by 5. So that pumps up to 15. And then we have this artifact here, which allegedly increases the corrode, the stack limit for corrode effect by 20. So allegedly we can get up to 35 stacks of corrode per unit on the enemy team, which should trigger Gaia's passive. Now, I don't know. I've not seen it before, but the reason, this is why. So if you have a look on here, on these stats pages, we will, after everything's said and done, we'll apply 10 stacks of corrode to the enemies, gaining 25. So that's 250%, and yeah, they just fall through. They just fall through. Because of Lancelot. Lancelot will increase damage done by corrode by 200%, and Emily increases it by 100% as well. So effectively, with this particular team, I mean, even if you take Gaia out, I believe you'd still be able to do this with this particular setup. You'd probably replace Gaia with Astrid at this point. But again, it is what it is. So yeah, I do have Lancelot's runes as well, so if the enemies were to survive for long enough, we could potentially steal an enemy as well. So I do like his runes. You can do a lot. We did get up to 50 stacks for Gaia that time round. Yeah, the stack limit that you can get up to with these units is just crazy. Yeah, and I love how the Mystifiers works in PvE now, because we apply those stacks of corrode, that goes up, and then I believe we'll apply another couple of stacks of corrode. Yeah, so we apply another 25 stacks of corrode here, and then it all kicks off and acts before anybody can take action. So really powerful effect. Emily to do the most here, because she's the one applying those 5 stacks of corrode. 2 enemies. Yeah, really, really powerful stuff. So Emily will apply those stacks of corrode. This artifact here will trigger, well, effectively, it'll add an additional 4 stacks on. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying the Mystifiers synergy this season. I've pumped a lot of, yeah, you don't even need to skip, I don't think. But yeah, so I'll tell you what, hold on. Let me just pop this down here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my face cam off just for a second. Just for a second. The reason for that is because I want to capture this and pop it in a short. And just say, most effective Mystifiers team ever. It is not the most effective Mystifiers team ever. We are going up against Minotaur at the moment. But it doesn't seem to matter because he can't apply those stacks. Or he can't apply the defensive stacks quick enough. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Now, let me pop myself back on. There we go. Right, okay. And what I'm going to do now, just build a second Mystifiers team. The Mystifiers team that you should be going with. Typically, now it's not going to do anywhere near as much damage turn 1 as we've seen, but it is the most consistent. And that is Astrid, it is Catherine, and it is Talos as well. So you put these 2 in the front slot. You make sure that Dullahan is here because he will act after Talos. So you want Dullahan to act after Talos because he does more damage. He's been buffed up. And as well, he applies corrode stacks with all of the hits that he does as well. So here, as you can see, we've not applied many corrode stacks. We do stun. We are up to 25, but we're not going to reapply any corrode stacks here. So it may be, yeah, as you can see, the damage that we're doing, it was all thanks to Lancelot, funny enough. He's such a crazy unit, and then enemies have healed up here. So we are going to start to slowly lose. We are going to start to beat them down quite slowly, I think, now, because we don't have that increased damage. We do have increased corrode damage by 50% from Talos, but again, there we go. So we did a fair chunk of damage there, mainly on that Minotaur, and primarily because he was, primarily because he had taken the most hits. So from the likes of Catherine, and I believe Gaia hit him as well. But then, yeah, Dullahan, just to finish things off, the buff really pumped him up. It really, really pumped him up. Hold on. Got a bit of a thing on the air. Ah, well. But yeah, so he's going to do the most damage after we're done here. Gaia does tend to do a lot more damage than any of the units on this team, including Astrid. But you need to build her up to past 75 stacks effectively, and that's when she gets really good. Right, okay, yeah, so let me pop myself out of the way again. I'm just going to record another short while I'm here, and while I'm doing these, let's jump in. Yeah, again, this team setup is the strongest by far. It's the least squishy, so to speak. The other one did very flashy damage, very fancy, very flashy damage. But this particular Mystifiers team is all about durability and survivability. So the longer that you can survive, the more powerful Gaia becomes, and the more powerful the rest of your team become. So having that survivability is really key to winning difficult, longer battles as well. So just something to keep in mind. Now, I've heard this season that Hell is very, very difficult, so I'm going to be looking forward to that as well. Oh, yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting. So we move into round 2 here. Sal and Solomon, unfortunately, go down. Well, unfortunate for them. And then I think here, yeah, everybody but Persephone. But even then, she's not going to be able to survive that onslaught. It is what it is. So there we go. Right, so short has been done on the Mystifiers. I will carry on, and I think we'll go to 20 on this one, because we're at 9 minutes already. So we'll jump in and we'll carry on pushing through. I don't think we need to see any more. And this team again, the reason I built it is because it's just the most reliable I've found. The other team, very squishy and very difficult content. So yeah, without the Holy Shield protection, the other team is just real pain. And there we go, stage 3, or round 3, sorry. So it took a little bit longer for these guys to kill the enemies, but again, you can't escape that corrode damage. Just so powerful. Right, okay, so we need a striker. So, what striker do we want to build our team around? We have Catherine at the moment. I could just keep running this team, but we came to see some new stuff. So let's go ahead with Arthur, and let's go ahead with Doris. And I can show both of these new units off. Go with, where are you? There you are. So the best team that I've found for Arthur specifically, we take out Doris and we put in Merlin and we put in Halissa. The reason that I run this team is primarily because of Cleo and Dahlia in this front slot. They will act as your wall while it gives Arthur time to build up. So Arthur, he builds up and he deals additional reflect damage equal to his HP. Now, you might think Ophelia is best with him, but he just dies. Really early on, he just dies. For me, anyway. It might be different for you guys. And same is true with Dahlia, same is true with Cleo to an extent. But the reason that I've included 3 monarchs on the team is just to ensure survivability while we build up those stacks. We won't see it here, probably. So bear with me. I'll run this team for the first 5 and then we'll pop in new relic. I've been really enjoying this relic. Really enjoying this relic. I will run, where have you gone? Leviathan, and I'm going to run Demon Blade Whip. So this relic, in case you don't know, will give you 100 relic energy when you do, when it triggers, which will then trigger Leviathan, which will then trigger the Demon Blade Whip. So you'll effectively get 5 relic stacks in a row, or 5 relic attacks in a row. It's absolutely fine. And we recover that 25% HP. Now we don't have a striker on this team, so what I would suggest, if you are going to be running this as free to play as possible, I would suggest this team is probably your best bet. So in fact, let's go ahead and let's run this team and just see how well it does and see how it performs as well. So we do get our 40% dodge. It's okay dodge for Doomsdayers, but you kind of don't want your team to dodge, because the way that the reflect damage works is you need to take reflect damage, except with Doris, you need to take reflect damage. Ooh, flipping heck. Athena straight down. Ooh, what a pain. See what I mean? Bit squishy without that true monarch synergy, without everybody there. So there we go. Yeah, look, strong stuff. Now we haven't increased HP and we haven't increased attack just yet. So, I know we have actually. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, wow. This is why I think Gaia is the best of the bunch so far. I really do. I think you need certain units. Yeah, see, just got absolutely wiped out in the mirror. But let's go ahead and take you out and take Doris out. They just need defense. That's all they need. It's all they need. The Dooms team to be very good. And you get that defense, unfortunately, from this. So let me jump in and let me show you the difference between the two. So we have our 3 monarchs here. It just means that our units will not die. We do get the stacks of Holy Shield as well. So we get a stack of Holy Shield from Cleopatra at the start, which for Doom mirrors is so important. It's so important. Now Arthur does have full dodge runes as well for me, and the reason that I've gone with full dodge runes is because it is recommended. It is recommended for you to have full dodge runes on Arthur. And the reason for that, I think, is just to make sure that he has enough time to build up. So the rest of your team might go down. The rest of your team might go down, but Arthur will then stay stable because of the amount of HP increase that he's had and the amount of attack increase that he's had. He'll be doing additional damage based off his HP. But yeah, this is what I mean. So we start to build up, and we start to build up really, really well. So as you can see, we dealt reflect damage there. We dealt reflect damage there, so we do increase max HP and max attack every single time we do get hit effectively. So the more you get hit on this team, the more damage output that you're gonna have. So there you go. This is why Dahlia just cleans things up. Really, really effective, really powerful unit. And then Halissa here to finish things off with Merlin as well. So we do, unfortunately, it is it is what it is. And then we get reflect damage there. So yeah, without the Monarch synergy from Cleopatra, you can't rely on that team. You cannot rely on that team. Now let's go ahead and take these two out again. And let's pop in some alternatives. So you could go with, you could go with Ophelia for this one, for the HP increase. And then, really, for me, there's no real other choice. I mean, you can go with Doris. Let's check Doris out. Let's just see. But again, it's the Monarch synergy that puts the most work in for the Dooms team. Like, if Arthur was a Monarch, this would be, or that team that I've just showed off, in my opinion, would be the most broken team that you do have as well within the game's framework. So yeah, I can understand why he didn't put him as a Monarch, because if he was a Monarch, he'd just be so broken. He would just be so powerful. But again, it is what it is. So we get our three relic triggers with thanks to the new relic, and then we'll get it to trigger again. This is the Soulbinder Lance. What it's supposed to do is it's supposed to apply Enfeeble on enemies, so they do 30% less damage to you. And they will, and then when you get up to 3 stars, it will increase your damage output, or well, it'll increase the damage that enemies are dealt effectively. So you can do much more damage with your Dooms team, and you will be taking less damage as well. I think they've built Arthur specifically around that that relic, or at least they've filled out his weakness at the start of battle with that relic specifically. That's fine, you know, that's fine. It is what it is. So here, as you can see, we might be doing a bit more damage, but the survivability, we're taking much more damage as well to boot. So here, yep, as you can see, enemy team's coming back. And then the reflect damage it doesn't even kill Ayushta here, which is, you know, it is what it is. You're supposed to be able to kill these enemies with reflect damage. I mean, Arthur there, he's doing a lot. And then compared to Dahlia, he's not doing a lot, you know. But he also deals a lot of damage reflect-wise as well. There's another team that you can run, but for Dooms at the moment, it is Cleopatra and Dahlia. So say if we take those two out and we do a traditional Dooms team of, say, these two, we'll keep Ophelia in there just because she's a very powerful unit. And then if we put in, say, Halios here, yeah, these two both stop reflect rate, or they reduce the reflect rate anyway, so it is what it is. But yeah, again, he's tough to build around. He really is tough to build around. Again, it might be because I've got him at 6 stars. It might be the fact that he is at 6 stars, and not a super impactful unit at 6 stars. He does a lot of work, but even if you took him out of that build, he wouldn't really be doing altogether too much. You could replace him with, in the previous builds that I've done, you could replace him with Ophelia. You could replace him with really anything, anybody on that team, and you know, you'd be absolutely fine. But I think when you get his red runes, That's what I'm saving for. I could have got Hades red runes, but I don't think Hades needs them. I don't think Hades needs them. And I was going to get Woo's, I was going to get 2/2 for Woo, so 2 reds and 2 epics. But for me, I think that Arthur needs his red runes first. So I'm going to be saving all season. I'm not going to be able to get them this season. Absolutely not. I'm not paying, 1,200 quid for runes. That's ridiculous. And the prices on those do need to change. But again, people are willing to pay it. They're not going to reduce the prices down. It is what it is, But as you can see, traditional Doom's team doing much less damage. Really doing much less damage. So fortunately, we got Fortitude applied. That's part of the seasonal synergy as well. Fortitude still applied, but again, we're doing much less damage and finishing things much slower than we normally would. I mean, even Telenas can stun us. It is what it is. I think we will. Oh well, maybe not. No, so we didn't even win. Didn't even win, but let's go ahead and change things up. And let's pop in the team that I think is the best, Doom's team, which would be these two, like this. Oh, well, these 4. And let's go ahead and see how they change. And Arthur, he just needs this protection. He really does. He just needs the protection at the start. So this will be the last run effectively, or the last match that we'll watch up to match 20, and then I'm just going to skip through the rest. No silence, of course. We're physically unable to silence the Ethereal's team here. Now, something to keep in mind: Corolla and Macaria. They both counter reflect rate, so they both reduce reflect rate whenever you attack them or whenever they attack, I believe. So whenever Corolla does attack, we get a negative reflect rate as well. And our defense goes down with thanks to Telenas there as well. So you can see they're still doing massive damage, even to our team here. Ooh, wow, flipping heck. So this is a tough one. I'll say a tough one, and we're only on Nightmare 13. How tough is it really going to get? Let's try that again. We'll see. And there we go. 10 rounds though. Still 10 rounds. I don't think he's. I just don't think he's great. I think he's mid. Arthur, would I include him on this team if he wasn't the brand spanking new unit? Probably not. If I'm honest. He's just a bit of a disappointment. Like in this one, might have done a lot of work, but Dahlia, Halissa to do the most damage. He is providing support to the entire team. He provides HP up and attack up. And against Emily, we just one-shot them all. But yeah, for me, he provides the attack and HP up, sure. I'm a little disappointed about his second passive as well, just increasing it to 50%. When you've got other passives like Dahlia's secondary passive, like Mulan's secondary passive, even Halissa's second passive, the increasing, going from a 25% chance to a 50% chance is just not, for me, it's just mid. It's not good enough. I think Arthur this season is just a bit mid. He's, he is what he is. He's a good unit. He's a good unit. I mean, I'm using him at 6 stars in Nightmare difficulty. I don't think I'll be able to use him at 6 stars in Hell difficulty. But for me, Arthur is just a bit. Again, he's just mid this season. I don't know, and this is with all of his buffs as well. Like, what's he going to be doing without his buffs? The seasonal buffs. I mean, he's getting 70% increase in attack, defense, and HP. For here. So, it is what it is. It is what it is, and he is what he is. You know, and he does provide the attack up and the HP up for all of your units every time reflect damage is dealt. But I think the way that he could be better is if it's on reflect, not reflect damage dealt, but when you trigger reflect damage. So, for example, there's three instances, or four if you include Doris. There's 4 instances of reflect damage. You've got Doris's reflect damage, which does it before the unit takes action, or as they're about to take action, Doris will reflect. Then you've got the reflect on action for them. Then you've got the relic reflect, and then you have the actual reflect damage itself from the synergy. So if it was on reflect, you'd be able to gain 4 stacks per hit of Arthur's attack here. His attack up and his HP up. I think that would have been much better. But as it stands at the moment, I think the maximum that you can get for that is the it is the what you call it. Oof. Sorry, I'm just watching the gameplay. Yeah, it is sort of 2 per hit. I believe it is. Yeah, so we get 2, 3. We get 3, 4 hits there because we dealt the reflect damage, but Doris isn't on the team. So weird how it works. I'm still confused as to how it works. Maybe I'm missing something, you know. But he looks like he's doing big damage there, but then, you know, Dahlia comes along and out damages him. Absolutely. We'll see. We'll see how he is when I get him to 8 stars, because I will be getting him to 8 stars. But that's it from me. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have a fantastic day, whatever you're doing. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. Looking to get the 1,000 subscriber mark, and can only do it with your help. So yeah, please do. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day.